can't hear you. He's like, that thing. I'm like, what thing? He's like, your husband. Remember we were talking about your husband? I was like, oh yeah. And he says, he's there where you are. And I was like, really? Welcome back to A Chosen Covergirl, where we talk about living life full of joy, confidence, and faith, as well as everything in between. I'm your girl, Daniela. So today I am sharing how it is that the Lord told me that Patrick was my husband. Because oftentimes, single ladies are like, how did you know he was your husband? How did you know he was the one? I know a few women who are like, I had peace. There was a peace about it. And that's absolutely great. But for myself, I just really, really needed to know, like I know. And I didn't want just peace. I needed to know for sure that God told me that this was going to be my husband, that this is the man that he chose for me, because it's such a big commitment. It is such a big deal. And I also know that me surrendering to the will of God for who my husband is going to be or would be was one of my biggest acts of faith. So how did he tell me? How did I know? How did he tell me? The thing about it is, just because he said it doesn't mean I immediately, or that you will immediately come into agreement with it. Because if it's not who you thought it was going to be or who you would necessarily want it to be, then you're like, okay, you playing, Jesus, you playing. Stop playing. Stop playing, And this is nothing to say about my husband. I absolutely love him. He's an awesome guy. But, I was in my 20s. I was younger, and the things that I wanted then aren't necessarily the things that I know that I need for today or know that I needed in that moment. So I've always been big on signs, and I've always asked God to send me a sign. And some Christians think that it shows a lack of faith, but I totally do not believe that, because even in the Bible, God showed signs to his people, and he would confirm his word through signs. And so I was really big on, Lord, show me a sign. I need to know. And I would ask for a sign for everything, any and everything. So I was going to ask for a sign about my husband. And I remember having a dream one day, and I had a dream. And in my dream, he revealed to me that Patrick was my husband to be. And it was so funny, because at the time, I was like, no, like I woke up really upset. I woke up like mad. So why? Because I just felt like he was a little corny, I'm like, he's too corny. But ladies, corny is the new cool, honey. That is the book that I've been working on forever and a day that is going to come out sooner or later. But trust, corny is the new cool. So when the Lord revealed to me in a dream that this guy is going to be my husband, I was like, you might have tried me. So how did he do that in my dream? So, and it was very specific, and it felt so real, guys. So in the dream, I was at a banquet. Isn't that funny how things happen at a banquet? I just feel like that's just so, Anyway, so in my dream, I was at a banquet, or I don't know what kind of event it was. But I was at a round table, dressed up, and I got a phone call. And I remember I stepped away because it was pretty loud, and I got on the phone, and I was on the phone with a friend from college. Now, mind you, I met my husband in undergrad, and we were in our last year together, our last class, last semester, right before we graduated. That's when we met. So we shared a class together. So the particular person that I was on the phone with, he just went to the same school, but he didn't know my husband at the time. And it's not like we shared a class together. Anyway, moving forward, he says to me, Daniela, that thing that we were talking about. And I remember I could hardly hear him. Like, this dream I will remember for the rest of my life. So he's like, Daniela, that thing that we were talking about. And I'm like, I can't hear you. He's like, that thing. I'm like, what thing? He's like, your husband. Remember we were talking about your husband? I was like, oh yeah. And he says, he's there where you are. And I was like, really? And then the conversation ended and I walked over to the table, and my girlfriend, she's like, what did he say? He said that my husband is here. And she's like, really? And I sat back and I looked around the table, and then all of a sudden, Patrick's sitting right next to me. I was like, what? And he smiles at me, and then I woke up. And I woke up mad. And can I say, that was the very first time that I was mad with God. I've heard people mention it before, but never did I ever think I would be mad at the Lord. So fast forward, my girlfriend and I decided to have a covenant with each other in God. A covenant, guys. We're both single. We were like thick as thieves. Like, we were always together. We were pretty much dating each other, if anything. I mean, we would go out to dinner together, movies together. Like, during our single season, we were each other's company. And so much so, we both acknowledged that if one person got married before the other, we would feel bad and not want to leave the other person out. And it just wouldn't be good. So we prayed about it, and we were like, okay, Lord, if, when we get married, when we both have a spouse, when we both enter into a relationship, full stop, when we get a man, please let the other person's significant other come at least 2 weeks after the other. How long you think you can be by yourself, girl? I can be by myself. Okay, I can be by myself for 2 weeks. Okay, I can be by myself for 2 months, but not after that, because I can't see you and your man booed up and I ain't got nobody. So we prayed about it, and we're like, okay, Lord. I said, okay, she can have her man first, even though I'm the older one. She can have her man first because she's just spoiled like that. It's like, let her have her man first. I have to start dating my husband 2 weeks, no later than 2 months after she starts dating hers. And we're like, okay, good, that sounds good. But Lord, okay, I need to get married before her because I am the older one. You're like, okay, these are reasonable terms. So we came into agreement. We prayed about it, like seriously, like it wasn't a play. We prayed about it. Boom. Would you believe that she started liking this guy? And so she started liking this guy. And I remember, and she and I, we sat next to each other at church all the time. So she sat with this guy. Like, they started talking on the phone and everything. So they started talking. And would you believe, no lie, like within 2 weeks, it was like within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of her talking to this guy, we were in church. She was sitting next to him. And I got to church late that day. And I normally park on the west side of the building. And I normally sit in a particular area of the church. It's a really large church. And this particular Sunday, I was running really late. And the parking attendants made me park on the east side of the building, trying to be obedient. So I was obedient. And I remember when I got out of my car, I heard somebody say my name, and I turned around and it was him. And I was like, oh Lord, And fine. Hey, hi, small talk. Okay, great. So moving along, I hurried into the sanctuary, and instead of sitting where I normally sit, it was packed this particular Sunday, I got sat somewhere else in the sanctuary, and I was annoyed by that, but I was obedient and I listened to the usher, and Pat and I got sat right next to each other. And As I'm sitting next to Patrick, I turn and I see my girlfriend sitting next to, this guy she's talking to. And she just grins at me like, And from across the church, I gave her the deadliest look. If looks could kill, she would be boom, boom, dead. I cut my eyes at her so badly. I was like, no, don't play. And that particular Sunday in church, my husband asked and said, he asked me if I would sing somebody. And I said yes, even though I wasn't. And truth be told, guys, truth be told, I was speaking things into existence as though they are. Because in my mind, I was going to be with somebody soon. It's just, in the future, I was going to be with somebody. I was going to have a man in the future. I just didn't have it like in that moment. So anyway, so I asked him like, why? Why do you say that? And then he said to me, because I always thought that you and I were going to get back together. I was like, oh. Fast forward. That was that Sunday. I remember after church, my girlfriend, we went to a friend's. We were having, Sunday dinner, and she was over there laughing like, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. Remember our prayer. Remember our covenant that we have, our agreement. It's going to be him. It's going to be him. I'm like, no, it's not. Whatever. And the thing about it is, I wasn't necessarily attracted to him. Is he an attractive person? Absolutely. Just, I wasn't. And I remember praying out and asking God, my Lord, if he's my husband, I don't even see how, because I'm not attracted to him. I want to be attracted to my husband. Like, how is this person my husband? Like, you need to show me. Like, I need to, if it's him, I need you to show me. And I need you to show me the feelings that, I want to have for my husband. The thing about God is he answers prayers. He is still in the business of answering prayers and showing you signs that you ask for if it's in line with his word and what he has, his plan for your life. So would you believe that shortly after that prayer, that evening, I was over there rolling in the sand with Patrick. We were over there. Like, I just started having these lustful thoughts about him. Like, it was mind-blowing. No lie. Like, my mind was blown. I'm like, wait. How do I go from not feeling this guy to, like, ripping his clothes off and, like, we just, like, how is that? So I was like, my mind was blown. And then I would think about him every day, and I would lust for him every single day. I was like, okay, I guess it's him. I guess it's him. Like, Daniela, years ago, the Lord showed you it was him. And now he's showing you again that it's him. Surrender to that. Let it go. Let it be him. Because truthfully, if God is telling you that's your husband, then he must got something good in store. Like, there's so much to this man that you haven't seen that God just wants to expose you to and let you experience, but you're cutting yourself off to it. Let it go. Surrender. Now, stick a pin in it right there. He was actually seeing somebody. So, I don't know, he said what he said, but he was seeing somebody. I would see him in church with this girl, maybe like, I think it was probably from when he made that comment to me seeing him with this girl. It's probably maybe like a 3-week time frame, maybe, if even. I could be wrong because it was many moons ago. But I do remember I saw him on a Sunday, on a Wednesday night service. I was at Bible study. And this was after I had, the talk with the Lord. And I'm like, you got to reveal it to me. You got to show it. So after that, I started having these, lustful feelings and thoughts. That Wednesday at Bible study, I saw him. And I saw him with the girl that he was seeing at the time. And so I prayed. And because I'm like, okay, but Lord, if he's my husband, he over there, he's booed up with somebody right now. Like, what's that about? So I prayed again. I said, okay. I said, Lord, if Patrick is my husband, you see how we be doing, God? I'm going to tell you how we be doing. You see how we be doing? I said, okay, Lord, if Patrick is my husband, then I need him to approach me and ask me for my phone number, because I wasn't sure if he still had my number. By this time, from the time Pat and I fell out to the time, this was all going down, it was a 3-year time span. So I said, I need him to approach me, right? Again. And literally, the Lord told me,
I am not a God of confusion. You told him you have a boyfriend.
I was like, okay, touche. All right. And it was loud and clear and bold. I remember that. Like, oh my goodness. He's like, I'm not a God of confusion. I told you that's your husband. You over there lying in my sanctuary up in my house, telling that man you got a man when you know you don't. And then you're going to ask me to have him come to you? No. I don't operate like that. You ladies need to remember, God is not a God of confusion. He doesn't operate like that. He's not going to tell you your husband is a man who's a married man. He's not going to have him come and step to me while he's with his girl and I told him that I'm in a relationship. No. He's not about that entanglement. Sorry. So after church, I went over to him. Everybody's out in the lobby, when church get out and folks are parking lot, at the parking lot service, the second service, after service, where people are congregating and talking and hanging out and just don't want to go home to their Sunday dinner just yet. So I approached him and I asked him, I approached him and he introduced me to his girlfriend at the time. And I said, hi, I introduced myself, make sure I was very respectful, or at least I thought I was very respectful until I did this. So I was like, hi. Then I proceed to talk to Patrick. I was like, do you happen to still have my phone number? I wanted to talk to you about something. And he's like, yeah, I still have your number. I was like, okay, cool. Give me a call. I was dead ass wrong. I was dead wrong. I was dead ass wrong. Okay. And then, but in that moment, I didn't think anything. It was my intentions to be disrespectful or anything like that. But I remember I walked off. My girl was like, how you going to talk to that man in front of his girl? Like, who does that? Who does that? Like, are you kidding me? And I was like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that, huh? Well, I guess I do that. My bad. Did he call me? I don't think he called me. No, he did. A couple days later, Pat, come here. Like, I want to get the story straight. Make sure I ain't making nothing up. So anyway, whether he called me or I called him, I remember being on the phone with him and I asked him if can you call Daddy for me, please?
He's cooking.
He's cooking?
Yes, he's cooking.
Oh, well,
no.
Call him for me, please. Let him say no.
So, yeah, I'm Daddy. So we met during high school, because she was annoying in the classroom talking to y'all. And then I was trying to listen to the teacher.
No, but it wasn't
And
high
then-
school, Camille. It wasn't high school.
It was
Camille
college.
has heard this
And
story all the time. But listen,
then-
I'm not telling you.
Then
I didn't tell
Daddy
them how
said
we
shush.
met. I didn't tell them how. The story's not about how we met. The story is about how the Lord told me that he's
And
my
I love
husband.
my grandma. And I love my mommy.
Can you
And
get
we
out of here,
always-
please? Okay, so Pat and I spoke on the phone, and I asked if he would meet me at Starbucks. We met at Starbucks, and while we were at the Starbucks, he admitted that he actually thought about not coming. I'm like, okay. But he came. So during our conversation, I asked him, I said, well, while we were in church,
He said he don't have the time for it, and he's not dressed. So he said
he's not
sorry.
what?
And he's not dressed, so he said sorry, boo.
He just needs to come to the door. Pat, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. You don't even have to be on camera. Now, when you and I exchanged phone numbers at the church, you remember way back when?
Yes.
Did you call me or did I call you? Be truthful. Don't make up a story. This is not the time to make up a story.
After you gave me the phone,
When I saw you in the hallway with that girl that you were seeing, the girl that you were seeing.
the fine girl.
Can you just stop? Okay. Can you just say whether or not you called me or I called you?
I called you.
You called me?
I did.
Okay.
that's cute.
All right, good. Okay. See, that's all I wanted to know. Look how easy that was.
Hi.
Bye. Okay, so he did end up calling me. And then we arranged to meet at the Starbucks. He mentioned something about he thought about not coming, but he came and wanted to see what I had to say. So during that moment, I asked him, I said, listen, when we ran into each other that particular Sunday, and you sat next to me and you told me that you thought that we were still meant to be together, or that we were always meant to be together, why did you say that? He told me that he was engaged to somebody. While he was in that relationship, he asked the Lord if that person was his wife. And the Lord told him no. And the Lord told him that I was his wife. And that was the confirmation that I needed. And I was like, well, the Lord told me the same thing, and he looked at me and I know I don't have a man. I kind of lied about that, but that's neither here nor there. And then we talked about it, and he's like, so what do we do from here? He had to handle his situation that he was in with that girl. And that didn't take very long at all. And then we started dating immediately because there was no need to waste any time. And that happened in May, in the month of May. We were engaged in the month of October, and we got married on April the 30th, 2016. I know that times have changed from when I met my husband, and I hear oftentimes it's really hard to find a significant other, and especially during this time of social media and online dating. But just continue to trust in the process. And if you really want to hear from the Lord and to know whether or not that the person that you're dating is your husband to be, or is the person that God has for you, just pray about it and ask the Lord to reveal him to you. And just like he did for me, I'm sure he'll do the same for you. All right, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe, guys.
And then we always talk about COVID and how much people died.
No. I'm not doing that one either. Listen, girl, stop. No, I need my lipstick. You're messing up my hair. Don't pat my hair down. Yeah, that's my story. That's my testimony of how God told me that my husband, that this man named Patrick Backer, is my husband.